Some places look too perfect to be real. They exist on the fringes of our imagination, shimmering just beyond the veil of the ordinary. We catch glimpses of them, in whispers carried on the wind, telling tales of shores untouched by time. We conjure them in our daydreams, when the mind wanders from the confines of a desk to a place of sun and salt and endless horizons. We find them pressed between the pages of old books, in faded ink and delicate illustrations that speak of forgotten worlds, of lost paradises waiting to be rediscovered. And of course, you see them in photographs, a constant stream of impossible beauty scrolling past our eyes. And a seed of doubt is planted. In an age of digital perfection, we've learned to be skeptical. You look at the screen and you can't help but wonder if the colors have been artificially pushed, the saturation slider moved just a little too far to the right. You question if the blues of the ocean have been deepened in post-production, transformed from a simple hue into a hypnotic, impossible cobalt. You ask if the greens of the jungle canopy have been made more lush, each leaf painted with a vibrancy that doesn't seem to belong to the natural world. It is a beauty so profound, it almost feels like a trick of the light, a clever illusion designed to captivate the soul. It's as if you're looking at a masterpiece, an island, seemingly painted by nature itself. But this artist didn't use oils or watercolors. The canvas is ancient volcanic rock, forged in the fire of the Earth's core. The palette was filled with a brush dipped in pure, liquid sunlight and the effervescent mist of the ocean spray. Every sunrise adds a layer of gold and rose, every sunset a wash of fiery crimson and soft lavender. The artist worked for millions of years, sculpting mountains, carving coastlines, and patiently growing a reef, one tiny coral at a time. This is a place where reality feels more like a dream, where the world you thought you knew dissolves into a haze of warmth and color. It's a gentle, yet profound escape from the relentless noise of the everyday world. The constant notifications, the deadlines, the traffic, it all fades into the rhythmic hush of waves on sand. Here, the only schedule is the turning of the tide. This is a destination that seems to have been crafted with impossible care, every detail considered, every curve of the coastline perfected. It feels like a deliberate creation, a sanctuary set apart from the rest of the world, a single iridescent jewel dropped into the vast blue velvet of the Indian Ocean, catching the light and shining for no one and everyone. And this jewel has a name that feels as soft and lyrical as the place itself. This island is Mauritius. Say it slowly. Mauritius. It sounds like a soft melody played on the breeze, a promise of warmth, of welcome, of wonder. It's a name that carries the history of sailors and explorers, of pirates and poets, all of whom were spellbound by this impossible beauty rising from the waves. Here, the water is not just blue. That single word is a profound understatement. It's a living spectrum of color. It is the palest, most delicate aquamarine in the shallows, where the sun kisses the white sand floor. It deepens into a vibrant turquoise over the seagrass beds, a playground for turtles. And then, at the edge of the reef, it plunges into the most profound, majestic sapphire, a deep, dark blue that hints at the mysteries of the abyss. It's a gradient painted by depth and light, glowing with an inner luminescence that seems to pulse from the very heart of the ocean. This isn't just colored water, it's a living ecosystem, and the colors are a sign of its incredible health and vitality. Beneath the surface, a second, even more vibrant world exists, a silent city of coral, teeming with life. It's easy to understand the disbelief. We live in a world that is often complicated and gray. We navigate concrete canyons under skies muted by pollution. We spend our days bathed in the artificial blue light of screens. Our reality is one of sharp angles, muted tones, and relentless pace. So when faced with a landscape this unapologetically vibrant, this saturated with life and color, the mind struggles to accept it. It can feel like a fantasy, a digital creation, a beautiful lie. But Mauritius is not a fantasy. It is not a screensaver. It is a real, living, breathing place with a pulse you can feel under the soles of your feet. Its reality is found in the laughter that echoes through a bustling market in Port Louis, in the sizzle of spices hitting a hot pan as a family prepares a meal. It's in the calloused hands of a fisherman mending his nets, his gaze fixed on the same horizon his ancestors watched. It's in the joyful shouts of children playing football on the beach as the sun goes down. This perfection is not an accident of photography or a trick of technology. It is the breathtaking result of millions of years of geological drama and patient natural artistry. It is the legacy of volcanoes, the slow work of water, and the resilience of life. It is a symphony of land and sea, of ancient geology and vibrant modern culture. A place where every sense is awakened and the soul is given room to breathe. It challenges our perception of what is real and reminds us that the world is still capable of astonishing, unfiltered beauty. And so, we invite you to suspend your disbelief. We begin a journey not just to a destination, but into a feeling. A journey to this island that feels too perfect to be real, and yet, wonderfully, impossibly, is. Let's go and see for ourselves. To truly find Mauritius, you must first let go of the world you know. Cast your gaze far from the sprawling, familiar continents, beyond the well-trodden paths and bustling coastlines. This is a journey not just of distance, but of perspective. Unfurl a map of the world, real or imagined, and let your eyes settle on the heart of it all. Let your finger begin its voyage, tracing a path east from the shores of Africa, across the seemingly endless deep blue canvas of the Indian Ocean. This is an ocean of ancient trade winds and epic voyages, an expanse that has long guarded its secrets. Your journey takes you past the colossal island of Madagascar, a subcontinent of unique life. But you must keep going, further into the blue. There, suspended in the vastness, southeast of the African mainland, a tiny speck of land finally comes into view. You have found it. A tiny dot of land, so small it seems almost an afterthought of creation, floating in an immense, shimmering sea. It is a punctuation mark in a vast liquid sentence, a world unto itself, defined not by its size, but by its profound isolation and the sheer force of will that brought it into being. For this is no ordinary island. It is a volcanic jewel, the magnificent result of a cataclysmic birth. Its story begins not on the surface, but deep within the Earth's mantle. Here, some 9 million years ago, a stationary hotspot of unimaginable heat and pressure punched through the oceanic crust. A colossal underwater volcano erupted, spewing molten rock from the fiery depths, layer upon cooling layer, until it finally breached the surface of the waves, gasping in the open air for the first time. Today, the fury of that creation is long past, but its memory is etched into the very bones of the island. You can read the story of its violent birth in the silent, dramatic peaks that claw at the sky. These are the weathered remnants of the great caldera, mountains like the noble, brooding monolith of Morne Brabant, a fortress of history and sorrow, or the whimsical profile of Peter Both, balancing its precarious stone head against the clouds. They are not just mountains, they are monuments to the island's turbulent genesis, silent witnesses to the passage of millennia, and the volcanic legacy reveals itself in more subtle, almost magical ways. Journey inland to the highlands of Chamarel, and you will find a place that seems to belong to another world. Here, the earth itself dreams in color. Before you lie the surreal, undulating dunes of the seven-colored earths. This is not sand from a beach. but a geological masterpiece painted by time and chemistry. It is the final stage of basaltic lava, decomposed over ages. Rain has washed away the soluble elements, leaving behind a rich residue of iron and aluminum oxides. The iron, depending on its oxidation state, paints the earth in shades of red and brown, while the aluminum lends hues of blue, violet, and green. It's a landscape of pure mineral pigment, a natural palette where the elements have become artists. And nearby, as if to prove the land is still alive with volcanic energy, the Chamarel waterfall plunges over a cliff of ancient basalt, a constant roar in this otherwise quiet, colorful place. But as the volcanoes cooled and the island settled into its oceanic cradle, a second act of creation was quietly beginning. Beneath the waves, an entirely different kind of world was being built, not by fire and force, but by life itself, patient and persistent. The architects of this new world were impossibly small. Tiny marine organisms, the humble coral polyps. Drifting on the currents, they found purchase on the submerged slopes of the young volcano and began their slow, meticulous work. Generation after generation, each polyp secreted a limestone skeleton, building upon the remains of its ancestors. Over countless millennia, these individual efforts combined to form the vast, intricate, and living structures we know as coral reefs. This was not random growth. It was the construction of a fortress. The reef grew into a nearly unbroken barrier, a great living wall that encircled almost the entire island, a testament to the power of collective, microscopic life. And in building this wall, the corals created one of Mauritius's most defining and cherished features, its calm, protected lagoons. The reef became a shield, a frontline defense against the full, untamed power of the Indian Ocean. On the outside, colossal waves, having traveled thousands of kilometers, crash against the coral rampart in a constant thunderous display of raw energy. But on the inside, that energy is dissipated. The water becomes a different element entirely, tranquil, gentle, and serene. It is this perfect collaboration between volcano and coral that gives the water its signature, almost unbelievable, turquoise glow. The physics are simple, yet the effect is sublime. The shallow depth of the lagoon allows sunlight to penetrate all the way to the bottom. There, it illuminates the brilliant white sand, ground down from millennia of coral and shells. This bright seabed then reflects the light back up through the crystal-clear placid water, which absorbs the red and orange wavelengths, leaving us with this dazzling spectrum of cyan, aquamarine, and turquoise. It's a color so vibrant, it feels alive. This is a natural wonder that transcends the visual. It is something you can not only see, but deeply feel. To step from the soft white sand into the warm, still water of the lagoon is to cross a threshold. It is to feel the gentle embrace of the island itself. The water is a tranquil bath, its temperature a perfect caress against the skin. Here, protected from the ocean's roar, you are suspended in liquid light, a guest in the peaceful kingdom the corals built. This is the first and perhaps most profound whisper of the ocean in Mauritius, a promise of peace, of beauty, and of a world born from fire and water. While the turquoise lagoons define its coastline, the heart of Mauritius beats within its verdant interior. The magnificent centerpiece of this natural heritage is the Black River Gorges National Park. Spanning over 67 square kilometers, this rugged expanse of rolling hills and thick native forest is a precious living museum. It stands as the last significant refuge for much of Mauritius's unique endemic flora and fauna, a final stronghold against centuries of deforestation that cleared the land for sugarcane. To be here is to hear the island as it once was, the whisper of wind through ancient tambalacoke trees, the symphony of unseen insects, and the piercing calls of birds that exist nowhere else on Earth. This is not just a park. It's the soul of the island, carefully preserved. With over 60 kilometers of hiking trails, walking its paths is like stepping into a forgotten Eden. The air is cool and heavy with the scent of damp earth and bloemerstark Arselburstenbok, or King Dies is Nidedatius. Sunlight filters through the dense canopy in shifting patterns, illuminating a world of vibrant green. Trails range from gentle rambles to strenuous treks, leading adventurers to breathtaking viewpoints that overlook the entire park. Every step is a discovery, a chance to connect with a primal landscape that has endured. And it is here, in this sanctuary, that miracles of conservation have taken place. This is the home of the famous Mauritian pink pigeon, a bird brought back from the very brink of extinction. In the early 1990s, only 10 of these gentle birds remained in the wild. Their future seemed impossible. But through tireless, dedicated conservation efforts, their population has recovered to several hundred. Seeing one today, quietly foraging in the forest undergrowth, is to witness a story of hope and resilience. Look to the skies, and you might also catch a glimpse of the Mauritius kestrel, another incredible conservation success story. In the 1970s, this small, beautifully patterned falcon was declared the rarest bird in the world, with a population of just 4 individuals. It was a species on the edge of oblivion. Yet again, through an intensive captive breeding and release program, the kestrel was saved. Watching it glide on the thermal currents high above the gorges, a master of its domain, is a powerful reminder of the fragility and fortitude of nature. The island's volcanic origins have blessed it with dramatic topography, and where there are mountains, there are waterfalls. The Chamarel waterfall is perhaps the most famous, a breathtaking single drop of nearly 100 meters. Fed by 2 separate streams, it plunges over a sheer cliff of ancient basalt rock, its roar echoing through the amphitheater of jungle. The sheer power and beauty of the cascade is a spectacle of raw, natural force. For the more adventurous, the Tamarind Falls, also known as the 7 Cascades, offer a thrilling journey deep into the island's core. This is not a place for passive viewing, but for active immersion. Hikers can follow the river as it tumbles down a series of 7 stunning waterfalls, scrambling over rocks and trekking through dense forest. The reward is the chance to leap from ledges into deep, cool pools and feel the invigorating shock of a refreshing swim in the very heart of the jungle, surrounded by nothing but water, rock, and birdsong. Beyond the forests and mountains, another world of adventure awaits just beneath the surface of the lagoon. To slip on a mask and snorkel and dip your head below the water is to leave the human world behind. The sounds of the shore fade, replaced by the rhythmic sound of your own breathing and the gentle crackle of the reef. You enter a silent, graceful dimension where light and color behave in new and wonderful ways. Protected by marine parks like the one at Blue Bay, the coral itself forms the architecture of this sprawling underwater city. It is a metropolis built by tiny organisms over millennia, with towering structures of branching acropora, massive domes of brain coral, and delicate swaying gorgonian fans lining the avenues. Life in this garden is a constant, mesmerizing ballet. Swarms of damselfish move as one, their collective form shifting and shimmering. Pairs of butterfly fish elegantly pick at the coral, while a majestic green sea turtle soars past with ancient wisdom in its eyes. Every crevice holds a secret, from a hidden moray eel to a camouflaged octopus. It is a world of breathtaking biodiversity, a fragile paradise that underscores the profound interconnectedness of all life on the island. Of all the island's natural landmarks, one stands apart, not just for its beauty, but for its soul-stirring history. The hike up Morne Brabant is perhaps the most iconic and poignant of all. This monolithic mountain is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, a symbol of resistance and the fight for freedom. For years, it served as a hidden fortress for escaped slaves known as Maroons, who formed settlements on its inaccessible summit. Reaching the simple metal cross at the summit is an intensely emotional moment. Legend holds that when slavery was abolished in 1835, soldiers were sent to the mountain to tell the Maroons they were free. Fearing recapture and misunderstanding the soldiers' intent, many chose to leap to their deaths rather than be enslaved again. To stand here is to pay homage to their sacrifice while taking in a truly world-class view of the southwestern lagoon and the mind-bending optical illusion of an underwater waterfall. This deep connection to the past and a profound respect for nature has fueled a commitment to preserving these treasures, giving rise to a thriving ecotourism scene. Nowhere is this more evident than on islands like Île aux Aigrettes, a sanctuary managed by the Mauritian Wildlife Foundation. It is a living laboratory, a painstaking restoration of the dry coastal forest that once covered much of Mauritius. Visiting this island is like stepping through a portal in time. Here, you can walk among giant Aldabra tortoises, gentle behemoths that act as ecological replacements for the island's own extinct species. You can spot endemic birds, reptiles, and plants found nowhere else. It is a journey back in time and a powerful, hopeful lesson in what is possible when human dedication is channeled towards healing the planet. The culture here is not a single, monolithic entity, but a vibrant and intricate mosaic, a place where continents and cultures have converged to create something entirely new and unique. This peaceful coexistence is the very fabric of daily life. The day often begins early with the first light of dawn. The markets are the beating heart of daily life. Stalls piled with tropical fruits, vegetables, and spices. As the day winds down, families gather. A time for connection, sharing stories, and reinforcing family bonds. The undisputed icon of Mauritian street food is the dole puri, a cheap, delicious, and utterly addictive meal on the go. Another fantastic lunchtime option is to visit a beachside shack, serving up incredibly fresh grilled fish. And of course, you must explore the world of Mauritian rum. One of the most visually stunning festivals is the Hindu celebration of Thaipusam Kavadi. The highlight is the traditional lion dance, a public spectacle of color, music, and joy that everyone can be a part of. There is an intangible quality that truly defines the Mauritian people, a gentle, welcoming spirit, best described by the French word bienveillance. It is this human element that elevates a trip to Mauritius from a beautiful holiday to a genuinely heartwarming experience. For many, the winter months, from May to October, are considered the ideal time to travel. The weather is pleasantly warm but less humid, perfect for outdoor activities. Getting to Mauritius usually involves a long-haul flight. The main gateway is Sursewoussagur Ramgoolam International Airport. Mauritius has a reputation as a luxury destination, yet it can also be surprisingly affordable with options for every budget. Driving offers the ultimate freedom. You can stop whenever a beautiful viewpoint or a tempting roadside stall catches your eye. Hiring a car with a private driver comes with the invaluable benefit of a local guide. For shorter distances and a more local experience, the public bus system is a fantastic and incredibly cheap way to get around. Finally, see Mauritius from the water on a catamaran cruise, and enjoy a barbecue lunch on board, the epitome of tropical bliss. As our journey across this impossible island draws to a close, the sun, a great ball of liquid gold, begins its slow, graceful descent towards the horizon. The world seems to hold its breath. This is the island's final gift of the day, a reminder to slow down, to be present. The lingering glow that remains long after the sun has disappeared is perhaps the most magical part. You'll find the island returning to you in unexpected moments. In an age of fast-paced living and digital distractions, Mauritius is an invitation to reconnect, share a smile with a stranger, and feel a sense of shared humanity. This island looks too perfect to be real, but it is waiting for you. Whether you are an adventurer, a romantic, a history enthusiast, or simply someone in search of peace, it is the island you won't believe exists until you see it with your own eyes and feel it with your own heart. And it is waiting.